I am standing by for contact. Good copy. Alright, welcome back to the channel, guys. After posting the ACR video, there were several of you, and this goes across the board anytime I post the ACR, whether it's in a Facebook group, on Instagram, on YouTube, obviously. People love to mention Templar Precision, and for very good reason. Dana over there at Templar Precision is single-handedly keeping the ACR dream alive, just as God intended it and the government ruined, much like pretty much everything else. So today we're actually going to be taking a look at the Templar Precision full G3 build. So now, full disclosure before we jump right into it, Dana at Templar Precision, Dana is the owner of Templar Precision. So if I say Dana or I say Templar Precision, same people. So Dana sent this to me for review and just to kind of demo. So unfortunately, I do not get to keep it and I've got to send it back. Big sad about that, but I am super appreciative that Dana sent it to me for me to check out, review, because I'm a huge lover of the ACR platform. So again, full disclosure, there's no money transferred or exchanged in any sort of way. He did just send this out for me to mess with for a little bit and give my opinions on YouTube, get some pictures for him. So now, to understand the G3, the Scythe, this is the G3, there's a G2. To understand it, it's basically just the ACR, but what you would have expected it to turn into. It's the same operating mechanism. Most of the parts, if not all of the parts, are fully interchangeable between platforms. That is, between the Scythe and the ACR. So this is basically an ACR at its core, but it's had some improvements to catch it up to 2024. So now I'll kind of run over how I've got this one set up, just so that you can see what comes on the regular Scythe. So I have added, similar to the ACR, this is the Seymour rail mount. This is the aluminum version. I've got a Surefire Scout over here on a Haley strategic mount, a Lunar Concepts padded contour sling. These sights are Williams gun sights. They're the HK style sights. And then I've actually got a Daniel Defense muzzle climb mitigator up front for my muzzle device. So everything else will be standard for the Scythe. We'll start out at the rear because this is the part that most people love about the ACR. Even if you hate the ACR as a platform, most people love the stock. So you do get the classic ACR stock, the UGG boot. It does fold. It does fire while it's folded because, unlike an AR-15, there's no buffer tube. So you can fire it with the stock folded. You can change these stocks out for whatever you want. You can put a buffer tube and run your standard AR stocks. You can run the telescoping PDW style stocks. You can run a lot of the stocks that are available for the AK. But if you trade out the ACR stock, you're a little bit ridiculous, because this is most people's favorite thing about the ACR. It does lock folded, and then when you can swing it out, you're ready to rock. Now, moving up from the stock, the next thing, we'll go over the next piece of furniture. This is functionally the same grip that is on the ACR. As far as the angle, it's from Magpul, got the same texturing on it. So it fits, there's still the same grip that I'm running on my ACR. The only difference is I'm stuck with that on my ACR. Whereas on here, the grip is interchangeable because the entire lower design has been modified to catch it up to modern times. Everybody likes different furniture, so if you want to run more vertical grip, this is definitely more of an A2 style angle. It's not terrible, it is what it is. It feels old school and nostalgic, but if I was keeping this, I would be changing this grip out for something that feels a little bit nicer. So now I said that the lower was an updated design. So obviously it's got some really cool lines and it's aesthetically pleasing. The entire lower is aluminum, unlike the ACR, which is polymer. Given it was made by Magpul, they like polymer stuff. So the entire lower is aluminum, machined aluminum. It's got good looking cutouts on it, whatnot. It does take different grips. All of the controls are the same controls as the ACR. It's full ambi. So you've got your safety lever, your mag release, and then your bolt catch, bolt release down here by the trigger guard. They do feel, all of the controls feel nicer on the Scythe over the ACR. That could be because my ACR has been put through it. It's pretty old, but I would like to say that it is because of the safety for sure, is because it is an aluminum safety and it is a 45-degree throw versus the standard 90. The safety on my ACR gets a little bit stuck. Again, I'm going to say that's because it's polymer and the gun has been put through it. But I do really like the 45-degree throw on here. I actually do catch myself a lot of times. I will flip the gun on fire with my thumb over here. And then when I go to flip it back on safety, I actually use my pointer finger, my trigger finger knuckle, just to flip it back up. It just comes a little bit more natural, but they really nailed it with the safety. It doesn't hang down really low, and I don't have it digging into my knuckle like I do on most ambi safeties. I'm typically not a fan of ambi safeties on rifles just because it does start to dig into my knuckle, but they've got the angles and the distances right to where that's not a problem. Again, same controls, mag release right here where you would expect it, much like an AR, and then much not like an AR. You've got your bolt stop and bolt release right here by the trigger guard. So now, unlike an AR, your charging handle is actually up here on the side, which is my preference over like the standard AR T handle. I don't like it back there. It's just kind of awkward right in your face. It's hard to kind of manipulate if you've got a malfunction trying to get the bolt release pressed and get the charging handle back. Your hand's got to move all around. Whereas this right here, you've got your bolt stop, bolt release right there. So when you got to clear malfunctions, your hand stays in the your master grip stays in the firing position, and you don't really have to come off the gun at all to manipulate it. So now this charging handle can be reversed to either side, whether you're a right or a lefty. All the rest of the controls are full ambi all the time. This can be switched to either side. Obviously, as a right-handed shooter, I've got it over here on the left side. So now, since the charging handle on the ACR does not reciprocate, you can use it as a forward assist, but you don't have to worry about it coming back and slamming into your hand. So I actually catch myself a lot using that as almost a hand stop. So what they've actually done is they've added some texturing right there on the back. So if you are going to use it as that, or you're using it as a forward assist, they give you some texturing to use it in that manner. Now it folds out of the way. It is there's a captured spring in there, so it folds out of the way. It's not protruding out real far, so it's not going to get hung up on your kit and whatnot. But once you do go to grab it, it folds out and basically doubles in length, gives you a lot of surface area to work that bolt. Just slightly forward of there, we'll talk about the handguard. The handguard is a huge upgrade over the standard ACR. This is the part that I see most people upgrading on their Bushmaster or Wyndham ACR. As far as Templar parts go, is the handguard. The handguard is much more much more similar to like a standard AR handguard that you're running now. It's a lot slimmer, a lot slicker, a lot smoother, machined aluminum M-lock rail. So if you saw my ACR, you know, it's a big old beefcake of a handguard up there, that big old full quad rail. So this is a huge improvement over that, as far as if you want that feel that you're used to with your ARs nowadays. Really, really nice rail. It does have QD cups on both sides. And then the M-lock slides, you've got no shortage of them. So you've got them all the way around the handguard on the 3, 6, 9, as well as those in-between slots. I don't know my clock. And so whatever those are, whatever numbers those are. And then you've also got M-lock slots up here on the upper receiver that I forgot to mention. So you've got just basically 1.5 M-lock slots up here. So if you want to put your light up there, works really well for that. So now we'll jump into the gas system. Exactly like the ACR, it uses the same operating mechanism, and your gas system is no different. So it is, you do have settings for suppressed and unsuppressed. It's just as simple as pushing a little detent, and I will roll in a close-up of this, pushing a little detent, and you've got the U. The U's facing up, that's unsuppressed. Rotate it, and now you've got the S, which is suppressed. I've not run this gun suppressed. I've been running it unsuppressed the entire time that I've had it. Let's go ahead and talk about the barrel real quick. So you will notice this barrel is just a standard AR-15 barrel. Now this one does not have the QD system. So if you watch my ACR video, you will have seen, if you haven't watched it yet, if you go watch it, you'll see that the ACR has a QD barrel system. So you can swap out the barrel really quick. I'm talking within a matter of seconds, which is arguably not a great design unless you're running like a machine gun where you're actually burning through barrels. If you're carrying just like a standard, you know, fighting rifle, you're probably not going to be carrying extra barrels with you. So really all that QD system really creates is extra fail points and possible shifts in your zero. So Dana has actually went with just a, you know, it's mounted up all the time. Obviously you can change it out similar to the way you would change out like a standard AR barrel. But if you do want the old school QD system, Dana can put the QD system in here. That's completely up to you. It's optional. Either way, he can make you multiple barrels with the QD system. So if you want to say run a 16.5 inch like what's on here, have a 14.5 inch, a 10.5 inch, and you want to just be able to swap them out. Maybe you want to swap calibers between 5.56, 300 blackout. Dana can take care of you with that as well. But this one in particular, the barrel is it's a mounted barrel. It doesn't pop off like the QD system does. It is threaded 1/2 by 28 like your regular 5.56s. So nothing special about that at all. So now I did put 500 rounds through this in the short period of time that I had it. Unfortunately, I've got a budget ammo. I don't have an ammo sponsor, and I don't make enough off of YouTube to reimburse me for the ammo that is expended on the channel. So I've got to be very ammo conscious, especially if I want to keep doing this for the long term, because it gets expensive. But again, for the short period of time that I had it, I managed to put 500 rounds through it. Didn't have a single malfunction at all. Not even, you know, not a failure to feed, failure to go into battery, double feed, nothing. Didn't have a single malfunction with it. Ran flawlessly. I ran it completely dry out of the box. And the only thing that ever happened was it just got a little bit dry, but that's expected. The rifle was bone dry out of the box. I just wanted to see how it would hold up. And so it got a little bit dry. Again, no malfunctions. The bolt was just a little bit stiff. So I took some oil, squirted it in there, racked it a few times, and everything's back to running buttery smooth. So again, that's no fault of the rifle at all. That's just a bone dry rifle. That's what happens when rifles are dry. They get a little bit sticky. So yeah, absolutely great rifle. I do plan on picking up a Scythe when Dana gets them in full production. I would love to make a Scythe my go-to, you know, my main go-to rifle. ARs are just kind of boring. Now, arguably, well, it ain't even arguable. ARs are the superior platform. That's why they're still around. And ACRs, Dana's kicking and breathing to keep this platform alive, and I am totally here for it. And I know a lot of y'all are as well. It's been a battle to get the ACR up to be able to compete with the AR platform, but this comes in at a much more costly price over what a lot of your ARs are coming in at. So now I'm not going to tell you one way or the other whether or not you should buy this, because if you want an ACR, you want an ACR, and I can't convince you otherwise. I don't blame you. That's why I've got an ACR. I couldn't shake it. Playing Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, I got bit by the ACR bug, and I just had to have one. That was my holy grail gun, as I mentioned in the ACR video. So I couldn't stop myself from getting one, and if you want one, I can't stop you from getting it. If you are going to get one, this is, in my opinion, the better platform. But if you already got an ACR and you want to upgrade it, well, get in contact with Dana. I'll have all of his information linked below. You can basically turn your ACR into this. If you want to just buy some extra parts to have on hand, Dana also has those as well for the ACR. So if you need any help with that, if you need to upgrade your ACR, if you want to buy a Scythe, just get in contact with him. I'll have all of his information linked below. I'll have his website and his Instagram handle down there. Also down below, I'll have my personal Instagram with a couple discount codes and whatnot down there as well. So if you want to check that out, it'd be greatly appreciated. Most of the coupon codes I get a little bit of kickback from. So again, I mentioned I don't make enough off of YouTube to reimburse me for the money. So right now I'm at a negative as far as money going in versus money coming out on YouTube, but I'm doing what I can to keep content flowing out for y'all, because I really appreciate the support that y'all have given me, and I'm going to try to give y'all worthwhile to keep supporting. So if you wouldn't mind checking out those coupon codes, maybe purchase something, and I'll get a little bit of kickback from that. One way or the other, I'm still going to keep putting out content. I'm just going to have to budget a little bit better. I do appreciate you watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Before I do end it, I'm sure some of y'all are going to ask. Y'all saw me pull this full-length rifle out of this bag, so I'm sure some of you are going to ask what bag it is. This bag is from Savior Equipment. I do not exactly remember the model of it, but I will have it linked below. Really great bag. It's got backpack straps on it and all that. Savior did not send this out to me. They don't sponsor me. I don't get any kickbacks from it at all, but I will be picking up one of these bags to go along with my ACR. This one's got to go back with the Scythe. So Savior Equipment, if you're watching this, I'd really appreciate one of these bags. Either way, I'm going to get one, because this is a great method of carrying the ACR. Again, it's from Savior Equipment, and I'll have it linked below. I appreciate you watching.